Hello, I'm going to be reacting to 5 products you won't believe ever buy again.
Hello everyone. Every day we eat a lot of different products, but have you ever thought what they're made from? You haven't?
No.
Too bad. If you take a look at the ingredients of some products, you will be shocked. We found this subject interesting, and so we prepared a video about some of these products. And at the end, you'll probably regret to have this knowledge. Let's get it on.
Don't bother me.
Gummy bear.
I know this one.
We're sure that all of our followers have eaten gummy bears. We're attracted to them because of their bright colours.
They're
You
so
see
nice.
them and you immediately feel like eating one. But keep calm and wait a little. Let's see what they're made from. Apart from common ingredients such as syrup, sugar and water, they also contain gelatin. This yellow, flavourless substance is obtained from the skin, cartilage and bones of pigs and cows. In other words, it's basically made from...
I knew that one. Found out on TV. Trying to find out where it's recording from. Is it there? Yep.
meat waste. Can you imagine? This debris is boiled, dried and powdered, and that's gelatin. Well, do you still want a gummy bear now?
Yes.
Vegetarians should be worried too. There are vegetarian gummy bears made with a
I feel like one now.
gelatinous seaweed substance known as agar-agar, but the problem is that animal jelly is much cheaper, so almost all gums are made from animals. Yes, the cruel reality. Crab sticks. Maybe everyone has eaten crab sticks,
Never heard of
but do
them.
you know how much crab meat they have? The correct answer is 0. It's hard to imagine, but this product has no crab in it. In reality, these so-called crab sticks are only fish force meat. They were invented in Japan hundreds of years ago, but in other countries they weren't very popular, so the Japanese added salt, seasonings and other ingredients to intensify the flavor. And more importantly, they painted them red and called them crab sticks. If you don't believe us, check it for yourself and read the ingredients on the back of the product. Pringles.
Pringles. I love
Everyone
Pringles.
believes that
I had
Pringles are
some
just
yesterday.
potatoes cut and fried in oil, but in reality it's not exactly like that. What are they made of then? This product has only 40% potato. The rest is starch, flour and water. Special machines mix and press it, and this is how Pringles come out.
They're so nice. I don't really care about that.
So round and pretty. Juice.
Juice.
Usually all boxes of juice have a sign that says 100% natural, but as soon as you drink it, you'll notice that its taste is very different from the taste of fresh juice. The thing is that natural and fresh do not mean the same. Tetra Pak juice is made from fruit concentrate. Fresh juice rots away very fast, while concentrate juice can live in your fridge for several years. Now you know the difference. Good boy. Lipstick. Now let's leave the food questions aside and let us tell you about something different. What does lipstick have to do with it? Well, it's a curious fact, so we added it to our list. Most girls wear lipstick, and maybe none of them have thought how it's made or from what. So here's a strange question.
My friends eat lip balm sometimes. Don't know why.
What do lipstick and sheep have in common? Actually, a lot. One of the ingredients of lipstick is lanolin. It's a substance that's obtained from sheep wool. You just have to boil it in order to obtain wax. And this is one of the main ingredients to make lipstick. But lipstick isn't only a beauty product. According to some researchers, every woman eats about 4 kilograms of lipstick during their life. Can you imagine? In addition, men who kiss women also eat lipstick, but just not as much, about 1.5 kilograms from birth to death. Amazing gadgets, upcoming technologies.
So guys, I'll just move my camera over there. I'm gonna pause that so I can get another video up. Guys, I'm back and I'm doing 10 kids who survived the impossible.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 kids who survived the impossible. We all hope we never have to experience a life-threatening situation. These are kids who have experienced impossible, awful, or scary situations and survived. So prepare to be stunned and amazed. But first, be sure to like the video and subscribe, and comment I subscribed and I'll try to reply. Coming in at number 10, we have Autumn Viach. In 2016, 16-year-old Autumn Viach was visiting her grandparents in Washington, but she went missing. Why? Well, her and her grandparents decided to take out a small private plane one afternoon, when in a sudden turn of events, the plane crashed into the mountainous Okanogan County area. Sadly, Autumn's grandparents passed away in the crash, but she survived. Surprisingly, she used her knowledge from survival shows to find a trail and wave down a car. A driver then took her to a police station where she informed them of her tragic story. Amazingly, despite being the sole survivor, she only sustained minor injuries. And what's more, she even tried to rescue her grandparents from the wreckage. Even though this wasn't a success, she's still a hero and a great survivalist.
I got cold, so my voice might be a little off.
Next up, we have Willie Myrick. In 2014, 10-year-old Willie Myrick was playing in his front yard in Georgia. A man then lured him into his car with the promise of money. They had a 6-hour drive ahead of them to the child snatcher's house. But after driving for 4 hours, Willie repeatedly sang the gospel song Every Praise. At first, it was out of fear, but Willie soon realized it was annoying the man. The man repeatedly told him to shut up.
Comment down below what some of the lyrics, because I want to know. Just in case.
But Willie wouldn't, and kept singing until the man told him to get out of the car. Willie then ran to the nearest police station before being reunited with his family, and he even ended up meeting the man who wrote the song that saved his life. Next up, we have Joey Welch. If a zookeeper was jumped on by an alligator, their chances of surviving would be scarce. But what about if a 6-year-old had a nasty run-in with an alligator? In 2013, a 6-year-old boy from Florida named Joey Welch was at a wildlife sanctuary at Boynton Beach. He was getting ready to go canoeing with his dad when suddenly he fell off a dock into some shallow water. But as soon as he landed in the water, an alligator clung onto his arm. Joey's father jumped into the water and began kicking the alligator to get it off. After a few minutes of hitting and kicking the alligator, it finally released Joey. The doctor said it was a miracle the boy hadn't lost an arm, but on the contrary, the boy was totally unharmed. Next up, we have Mackenzie Wethington. In January 2014...
That's my name, take away the A. Wait. Just check.
The boy hadn't lost an arm, but on the contrary, the boy was totally unharmed. Next up, we have
Yep. Well, change the A to
Mackenzie
C.
Wethington. In January 2014, 16-year-old Mackenzie Wethington was skydiving with her father. She jumped out of the plane and plummeted 4,000 feet. But there was one problem. Her parachute failed to open. She hit the ground, breaking many bones and damaging her liver and kidneys. But amazingly, she lived. The reason why she survived was because she passed out mid-fall. This relaxed her bones and allowed her to land naturally, saving her life. While Mackenzie may not have had such a big role in saving her life as other kids on this list, she is still amazing.
How?
Next up, we have Rebecca Savarese. One morning, 12-year-old Rebecca Savarese was walking to her school in Massachusetts, when suddenly a man in a truck pulled up next to her and showed her a pistol he had. He then got out and put the pistol to Rebecca's side, using the other hand to grab her backpack. He told her to walk towards the truck and get in, but Rebecca faked a stumble and managed to slip out of the backpack and run for her life. The man then got in his truck and fled, but not before Rebecca noted his driving license. With this and a clear description of him, Rebecca was able to lead police to Louis Lent. It was then discovered that he was a repeat offender and was charged with a variety of different crimes involving children. He is currently serving a 12-year sentence, and Rebecca is known as a local hero in her town, Pittsfield. Next up, we have Peyton Bushnell. In 2012, a 4-year-old girl named Peyton Bushnell was feeling unwell. Her parents couldn't work out why, so they took her to the doctor. The doctor gave Peyton an x-ray and discovered something bizarre: 37 powerful magnets. Peyton had swallowed some buckyball magnets, which had ripped 4 holes in her lower intestine and 2 in her stomach. She was luckily rescued by some amazing surgeons who saved her life in an emergency operation. A head surgeon said it's a miracle that she's still with us. Since this incident, many states have banned buckyballs, deeming them too dangerous for kids. But the important thing is that Peyton is alive and well. Next up, we have Dylan Hayes. We all see superheroes jump from buildings and then fall on their feet. But this has likely never happened to a 4-year-old boy. Well, Dylan Hayes from Colorado is an exception to this. In 2013, Dylan's mother moved a couch to clean a carpet in a room on the 3rd story of their house. She moved it next to an open window, when suddenly Dylan climbed onto the couch and fell 3 stories out of the window. But miraculously, he did 2 somersaults in the air and landed on his feet. Her mother shouted to his sister Jessica that Dylan had just fallen out of the window. His mother and sister ran out of the house only to find Dylan on his feet. He was taken to hospital but was released 4 hours later due to his lack of injuries. Next up we have Yaye Abdi. 15-year-old Yaye Abdi moved from Somalia to live in California. He had left Somalia as a refugee due to mass poverty and dangers in Somalia. While he did leave for a better life in Cali, one good thing Yaye did leave behind was his mother. He was desperate to see his mother but had no money and couldn't afford a plane ticket. So instead, he snuck into an airport and got into the first plane he knew was going west. But how did he get into the plane? Well, he hid inside the plane's wheel well, clinging on for almost 6 hours. Due to the altitude, he froze and lost his hearing. When the plane landed at an airport in Hawaii, he was taken into medical care where he regained his hearing. He's lucky to be alive, but unfortunately has still not connected with his mother. Next up, we have Michael. In 2016, an Italian teenager known only as Michael was messing around with his friends. They were doing dares when one friend dared him to dive off a bridge into a canal. He obliged, but to his friend's horror, Michael never resurfaced. His foot had become stuck to something underwater. After 42 minutes, a rescue team arrived, fearing the worst. However, they managed to rescue Michael despite him being...
I would hate that. I'd be like, I would have drowned. Can't breathe and I can't swim.
being underwater for so long. After
I can't breathe underwater.
just a few hours under life support, he was back alive and normal. He was able to survive due to a bradycardiac response he had, which is where your blood vessels constrict, allowing you to survive underwater for a short period of time. Michael survived against all odds and has since forgiven his friends. Next up, we have
Just getting about drink of water. Dropped. Should be on down there. Put one down there. Where's he going? Can't see it. Let's put it on the bed. No. Just carry on.
Cordova. In 2012, 9-year-old Calasta Cordova's mother called the police when she failed to return home from school one day. An Amber Alert was issued to try and get people to find her, but she heroically saved herself. She was taken by 29-year-old Jose Garcia until his car broke down. Calasta used the opportunity to run from Jose and asked to use a phone in a nearby convenience store. She called her uncle instead of the police and was picked up a few minutes later. Although she did escape, she was in a very bad way with cuts and bruises all over her face. Garcia took off on foot, but was later apprehended by police. It's safe to say that Calasta saved the day herself and claims she got her fighting skills from her uncle. Speak Spanish? Well, if you do, be sure to check out Luan Palomera. He makes amazing top 10 and top 5 videos. So if you speak Spanish and like to be entertained, then click the link on screen now and subscribe to Luan Palomera.
So that's gonna be the end of the video, so peace out. Homies, bye. Let me just end the video. Bye.